Hello, everyone, and welcome to our live segment. I know a lot of things have been going on lately, so any questions that you have about power outages, extreme heat, hurricanes, what else has been going on? Winter storms, backup power, water, food, DIY solutions. If I know the answers, I'll help you. If I don't, I'll make something up. No, we'll do our best with it. So, with that, while people are joining in, I'm going to talk a little bit about the five biggest mistakes that I see people making when it comes to preparedness. But some people are coming on already. Let's see, Arizona. Okay, who is that? Right over here, we have. There we go. Catherine from Arizona. Well, thank you. I'm glad you like my channel. Arizona beats Raluca. Okay, so that's one of the furthest ones here. And welcome. And what do we got? Renee Rupert. Hey, one of our longtime viewers. I appreciate having you here. I'm Trouble from Southwest Missouri. I think Arizona beats it so far. So if you move during this segment, like to California, let us know. And that's Raluca, 20 feet away. Beauty by Ralu. And great station, by the way, great channel. Okay, she has a beauty channel. So if you're into perfume, or if you're like me, you just want to stink good, take a look at her channel. So let's see what else we got here. And some people are just coming in. New Mexico is in the house. Boots. Hey, New Mexico. Great. So as you come in, let me know who you are, where you're from, and if you have any questions or comments or anything you've been doing for these recent catastrophes that have been going on. I know Europe has been having a real bad time with the heat waves. They've already had I think 3 waves of it. And I shouldn't say the funny thing, but the odd thing is they've been having these extremely bad heat waves, right? My brother-in-law lives in France. Yesterday, he sent us a video of what was going on outside his house. Now, remember, they have extreme heat waves, and he showed me his whole backyard was filled. It looked like winter. Hail balls about the size of an egg. It's been hailing. He says the cars are all destroyed. Can you imagine that? Hail in the middle of all this. Oh, talk about that catastrophes, So what would we do for that? I guess we'd have to make a really big DIY umbrella to cover cars. So let me go ahead so let's talk about a little bit about the 5 big mistakes people make. Number 1, like what he had with the hail, people wait until the power is already out. I know the first power outage here we had in Maine, we have them all the time in the winter. The first one, I wasn't ready. I couldn't even find a flashlight, okay? But I was able to make my way outside because outside I have these things, okay? We stick them in the plants outside, so I just went out and grabbed a few of them. It's not going on because it's so bright with my studio lights, but if I cover it, you can see that. So these solar lights, and then with that, I was able to walk around and find my matches and my candles and my flashlight and all that. So not being ready, preparedness starts before the emergency, not after. So I'd love to hear your stories. If any of you have had something like that happen and you weren't ready, let me know. It's funny, a lot of people don't realize that in a real bad power outage, okay, where everyone, even the town and the utilities lose their power, or you don't have the power to your pump outside, you might not even have water in the toilet. You might not even be able to flush, okay? So that's an emergency that a lot of us don't think about. What if I have to go to the bathroom and there's no bathroom? Okay, number 2 is they don't have enough water. A lot of people think about food first, but you can go a little longer without food than with water. So water is actually the most important thing. And we still have more people coming on. Let's see. And number 3, they don't have what I just mentioned, backup lighting. Okay, everyone grabs their phone. A lantern or a flashlight is much better, but Now I have a hard time with the phone. Raluca uses her phone for everything. Last night we lost something underneath the recliner, and she was down there, with a phone trying to find stuff with the spotlight. I turn on my phone, and it's like I'm taking selfies. That's not helping me with finding things under my recliner. Okay, so but the phone can be a great way to find other things. Let's see. Number 4, they have no way to stay cool or warm. Now, have any of you been having that trouble lately? That's been actually, for those of you that have been watching me for a while, about a month ago, I think we did a little video. It was a very simple video. I didn't know it would even go well, with a lantern and a couple of jugs of water connected to the back of our oscillating fan. I was telling Raluca, I'm going to put this up. Somebody might like it, but I don't know. It's not really that interesting. And it got 3.5 million views. I mean, it was so big, especially out in Europe. People are giving me these messages how it's helped to save them, and they didn't know what they were going to do. I guess they don't have not electricity. They don't have air conditioning. Most of the places out there, like we do. Some places won't allow it because the power grid can't handle it. And my brother-in-law was one of them. No air conditioning. Some of the places had central, but most of them didn't have any kind of, like thing coming out of the wall like we do, That's got to be horrible. So that video took off, and I was shocked. It's still growing like crazy now, and people are so appreciative of just having a DIY thing that they can use to cool off. I don't know if any of you were able to use it, or if any of you had problems with it, if your air conditioner was working fine, if you had it. But if you've had problems with that, let me know. I'd really love to hear your story. And let's see. I'm going back and forth. I'm not used to working with notes here. I like to just kind of go off by the seat of my pants when I'm doing live. But I say, like I do it all the time. I think this is like the 3rd live I've done. The second one was a year ago. I had to figure out how to get this whole thing going. Okay, so they need to stay cool or warm, and they don't have a way to do it. So in the summer, the heat can be very dangerous, and in the winter, it's just the opposite, and they can be really cool. They need to warm up. And number 5, the biggest one, and this is probably the premise of my station here, or my channel, is they panic. When you start talking about these hardships and power outages and everything, it can be scary. And a lot of people freak out, and you need to know how to be able to handle it, and especially with your children. If you have kids, I know I've had 6 of them, but now they're all older. But with children, you don't want them to be scared. They don't need to live in fear. So I know it's not a fun thing, but if you're prepared for a power outage, you can actually make it almost like a camping trip with your kids. So think of it. What's the worst part? Okay. You got water. If you need water, you have it. If you have heat, you need it, heat or cold, whatever it is, the time of year. If you need food, you get it. If you have a way to cook, if everything's ready, hey, do like I do. Get some Jiffy Pop popcorn and show them what you can do with that. And it'll make the kids happy. And it's a lot easier to get through a tense situation when people aren't screaming. So panic is one of the biggest things. And that's what we'd like to teach here, is how to do these things. I want to help you to learn different DIYs you can use and still enjoy it. Make it a fun project. Maybe the kids can help you make candles or whatever for emergencies. Make it your Saturday night outing. I remember when I was little. Oh, you're going to love this. When I was little, my father was into survival. I never thought of it. Probably that's why I'm like this. He was an ex-Marine, okay, and Marines never die. They always remain. But I remember he used to, every Saturday, do some kind of survival. My mom always did the cooking, but on Saturday, she left it to him. And, he'd take us out. He'd show us how to make snares, how to do this, how to do that. He was a scoutmaster. We were little Cub Scouts with him. And one time he made milkweed pods. You ever heard of those? They look like a little bird. You open them up and these little fluffy things that fly around in the fall. And we ate them. So he got everything ready. It was actually looking pretty good. It was he deep fried them, and then he was going to put salt in right from the Morton. Remember those big Morton containers of salt? They're like I don't know, pound, 2 pounds. And went to pour it in, and the cover fell off. The whole thing of Morton salt went in. Ah, talk about salt bombs. And of course, back in those days, you didn't waste anything, so you're gonna eat it. We had a lot of water. But the things that we learned, I mean, I appreciate that man so much today because anything happens, I feel like I'm I'd like to say 100% prepared, but he taught us to be prepared for everything and to go in it face first without worrying about it. Hey, whether you worry, it's still going to happen, isn't it? So let me see what's going on in the comments. Oh, you guys, am I that captioning? You're not talking. Go ahead and let me know anything you've done. The whole idea of this show tonight is I want to answer questions. If you don't give me questions, I'll have nothing to talk about. And this will be let's see, 20 minute, a 20-minute live. That's not good. So you need to let me have some questions and comments, things that you've experienced, things you'd like to know about. So let's see. So those are the 5 things. Don't wait until the power's already out. They don't have enough water. They don't have backup lighting. They have no way to stay cool or warm, and they panic. So, like I said, the more prepared you are, the calmer you'll be. So a simple plan beats or can beat expensive gear. All right, there's always a way out. So some of the topics I wanted to talk about tonight, if we get a lot of questions here, is staying cool, like we mentioned, without electricity. There's a lot of different ways. Backup power on a budget. Matter of fact, I'm going to let you know about one that I found just recently. I want to do a video on it shortly about a backup power, budget backup power type thing that for under $100 that you can use. If there's no power in the house, there's a way to bring it in. I was pretty impressed with this little DIY. Like I said, it'll be a future video as well, but we'll talk about it. Water storage, cooking when the grid is down, food safety, lighting, and first aid. I got some cool first aid ideas here. Let me see. Okay, Renee, you're giving me all these little slushies. I'm going to go ahead and post them. That's your question. Okay. Let's see. Oh, that's popcorn, she said. Okay, well, while we're talking about food, hey, Raluca, can I have you bring that test to me? Here's something I put in one of my recent videos that I was pretty impressed with. It's a test to find out whether your food in the freezer is still good. Because here's the scenario. You lose power, okay, in the summertime, and you've got a freezer full of food because we don't plan on losing power. So you have a freezer full of food, and you don't know because, we say don't open that. Thank you. We say don't open that unless you have to, because when you open it, you're going to start defreezing, defrosting. So you want to keep it closed as long as possible, and you want to keep it as full as possible. But if you don't open it, and let's say the power outage goes away and everything starts up tomorrow, how do you know whether your freezer stayed frozen or if it defrosted overnight for a few hours and then froze back? Because you open it up, everything's frozen again. Because the rule of thumb is if your food has defrosted in the freezer, completely defrosted for more than 4 hours, it's probably most likely not safe to eat. You can get sick off it. So you're probably going to want to get rid of it and start over. I mean, there might be some exceptions, but for the most part, 4 hours defrosting and bringing it back is not good. So how do you tell? Well, I went online and did some research, and I found some pretty cool channels that showed me this. Here is my defrosting in the freezer test. Okay. What this is a glass of water. Okay. You can't hear it or it's not splashing because it's frozen. And inside, I put a penny on top. So it's completely frozen now with a penny. So if you looked at it this way here, the penny is right here. So if the freezer stayed frozen, when I open this up tomorrow, that penny's still going to be on top. But what if the penny is on the bottom and it's frozen? There's a test. The water defrosted, just like all your food did. The penny dropped all the way down to the bottom because it defrosted, then it froze back there. So isn't that a pretty cool foolproof test? Now you can go out and buy a machine that'll tell you about this. Matter of fact, if you want a machine that'll do this for only $29.95 and 3 easy installments, I'll send one directly to your house. It'll be a little jug of water and a cup and a penny, right? Or you could just make your own, okay? But what a cool idea. Now, if it's halfway down, that means it defrosted a little and came back. So you're going to want to check your food. Very important. Let's not get sick over this kind of thing. So I thought that was a great idea. Well, let me see. We have Wendy. Hi, Wendy. She goes, biggest challenge is storing water. In a small house, a basement isn't an option. That's true. So ideas? Aha, do I have some ideas on storing water? Yeah, I have a few of them. One of the first things, okay, if you know the water's going to go out, or actually not, I shouldn't say if you don't know what's going to happen, but as soon, that's what I wanted to say. As soon as the water goes out, okay, as soon as the power goes out, I'm breaking in a new tongue here. As soon as the power goes out, run right to the bathroom and fill up your tub. That's the first thing. Now, you don't worry about, well, it's not drinkable, because we're going to make it drinkable. So fill up as many things as you can with water, just in case you do lose the water. So I think Raluca wants to put this back in the freezer.
And you can have some water. Take a deep breath.
And she gave me water. You go take a deep breath. See how cheap I am? Instead of coffee, I got water in my iced coffee cup. So anyways, fill up the tub. Fill up 5-gallon buckets, fill up, whatever you might have. And of course, if you have a stream or something like that outside, that's a good source. But like Wendy said, okay, she's in a small house with no basement. But if you have it all filled up, now you can use this water for laundry if you have to, or going to the bathroom or whatever. And hopefully you have jugs. They say you should have, about 1.5 gallons of water per person. I think it should be more like 2 to 3 gallons, because, you might want to do other things other than just drink it. But the tub is a great thing for that too. So have your drinking water and have that. So what do you do with this water? Well, let me see. I just so happen to have a couple things here in my trusty first aid kit. One of the things I like to keep in here, let's see, I'm going to take your name off here, Wendy, for a second so you can actually see what I'm doing. I have, oh, here they are. I have these aqua tabs. You ever seen these? I'll try to put a link to these and all the things I speak about in the description below if you want to get them. But these things are great. It's just these little tabs. Each one of these little squares, you can see it this way, is a tab. So there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of them just in this here. And I believe one of them is good for a 2-liter bottle. So you just take this little tab and throw it in there and let it set for about a half an hour. And boom, you got clean water to drink. Now, this is with the tub water. I wouldn't do this with swamp water, because if you have swamp water or water outdoors, it's going to have to be boiled. But still, if you have a way of boiling it, because you have a stove, you have water from outside. But aqua tabs are really good. Another thing, I'd never seen this until probably about 6 months ago. I went out and bought one of these life straws. Okay, and I didn't know how to use it. Of course, I'm the typical guy. You open it up. Here's the instructions. I don't need that. I know what to do. So I took the cap off. Doesn't that look normal? You take the cap off. You take this off. And it makes sense to me. You just put that in the water and drink it out of dirty water. So I had some nice swampy water out back sitting in the, I get like a kiddie pool, swimming pool that's been out there all winter with dirt in it. And so I grabbed a bucket of that. And matter of fact, if you go back to the video where I talk about this, you're going to see me doing it. I'm drinking away. And it's hard to suck through this thing because there's filters inside of it. And the water came through and it was drinkable. It was okay. But what you didn't see on the video is I had this really bad taste in my mouth for the rest of the day. It was like, ah. And then I read the instructions on this. They tell you that you should strain the water first before using this. So strain it through, some people will use, rocks and sand and different things. What I find is a really cool way to strain it. Let's see if I'm going to make a mess here. I need some water. So I'm going to take some water and I'm going to put it in a cup so I don't make too much of a mess. Okay. So what I use is these things. You ever seen these? They look like peppermints, don't they? They're about the same size. But what I did is I took one of these and put it in the neck of a bottle, a 2-liter bottle, put it all the way down the neck of the bottle, cut the bottom of the bottle off so it sits almost like an open glass. Now this is going to expand as soon as it gets wet. Pour your dirty, mucky water in there, and this will drip into a glass. So that way you're straining out the water. Now, how is this going to stay there? Watch this. I'm going to make a mess. I know it, but watch this when I take it and put it in here. Whoa, it's starting already. Look at this thing. I just put it in the water and it's absorbing so much. See if I can do this without making too much of a mess. It actually expands. So I guess you could call it a dehydrated, or look at that. So these are great to have. They're sanitary besides. And you can use this for sifting out your water. Isn't that great? And they're actually, let me get rid of some of the water in it. I have water all over my desk now. But just to show you, it's not like a paper towel. These are pretty strong. Okay. I mean, I wouldn't stand on it, but I mean, they're hygienic. You can use them for washing your face or putting on makeup. I'm even using it to pick up the water on my desk. And they'll stay. They're not going to go back to that little pill form afterwards. You can, if you wanted to, I mean, if you're cheap like me, you could even probably throw these on the washing machine and use them over. I'd probably hand wash them. But, I mean, it's like a paper towel on steroids. A lot of people like to keep probably a bunch of these. I keep them with my first aid kit. A lot of people like to keep these on hand for toilet paper. I mean, instead of carrying rolls of toilet paper in the woods, wherever you're going, have a handful of these, put them in there. So I keep a bunch of these right in my go bag. I think that's something else everybody should have, is a go bag. Anything happens, the whatever hits the fan, it's nice to just grab that and run out the door. Anybody ever used one of these before or something like them? They have a bunch of different sizes. They have some that are a little bit bigger that they're like towels. So you can get these in all different sizes, shapes, and they're not that expensive. This is just a little bit of them. I bought, for not too much, I bought a good size bag of them. But I've been using them for all kinds of stuff. Luca loves them too. I got to hide them from her. But let's put this here to dry out and like doing my laundry. But yeah, see, Luca's talking over here. Now, you could tell she's paying attention to me. She goes, "You mean take off makeup?" Why? What did I say? Put on makeup? Oops. You can see I don't really have to wear a lot of it. I have what they call the natural permanent beauty. Here they go. Yup. You're not hearing all the good things going on here. Okay. So anybody ever use something like that? They're a really great idea. I'm looking at the notes to see what I missed. There's a lot of people talking back and forth. Yes. Okay, Renee, that's supposed to be popcorn. Thanks. And that's a great test. Oh, the water test. Isn't that great? Yeah. And laughing. All right, come on. You must have some stories. I want to hear your stories. If you don't tell me stories, I'm going to tell you some of mine. Way back when I was a youngin', just knee-high to a grasshopper, here's what happened to me. Okay, not yet. I haven't gotten into that desperacy yet. So let's see, what else do we have here? I'm looking at my list. Oh, we spoke about the cheapest power backup. Now, this is not something that I've built yet. But, well, first of all, anybody want to know about the power backup? I want to hear, if I see 3 yeses, I'll explain to you how it works. Tick tock, tick tock. I'm going to wait to see that because it's not real involved, but what was Raluca saying here? I find it interesting that a lot of channels lately are doing EMP videos, including Redacted today. What is it you call that, Raluca? Predictive programming. When you see a lot of things going on online, people are talking about it, they're probably getting you ready, or like a lot of TV shows where they come on and talk to you about, this hurricane coming and all of a sudden there is one. Or lately, all these ones where aliens are taking over the earth and bringing us to their, no, that's probably not. I don't know if predictive programming works with cartoons, but okay, so we got one yes from Wendy, one yes from Laser Direct. Hey, welcome. You got to let me know where you're from. And one from, I'm having a hard time with that word, Yentler, Rurlanter. But yes, please. Okay. And we got Boots. Well, look at all the yeses. Yes, 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 yes. That's like I often say, hey, anybody want a $5 bill? And Lucas saying yes, it's predictive programming, but I'll take that as a yes to my question. And let's see, what do I got here? Whoops. One of my buttons are freezing, Raluca. There we go. Boots, you froze. I was going to ask you about backup power. Well, I'm glad you asked. Wow. And we got San Antonio. Okay, that's where Laser's from. And it won't be aliens, but it will be Jesus. No, I'm not going to get into, is he an alien? You didn't hear that? Do not read the subtitles. Okay, so let's talk about, oops. And, before we do, Renee said, I've used them. They're strong. And I imagine you're talking about these. They are, aren't they? It's unbelievable. Look at that. You can hear it. Listen to the strength. I'm getting my microphone all wet. Okay. So Wendy's from Colorado. Well, we got people from all over. All right. I have some notes here. Here's what you would do. Okay. There's a thing called and you might want to write this down. I'm going to actually put it in the description below too, because this is something that I want to get myself. It's called a 300 watt pure sine, SINE, wave inverter. Okay. I'm going to put a link on Amazon, but I think you can even get these from Harbor Freight in some of those cheaper places. They cost about $30 or $40. And now the one I'm going to show you when I do it is I'm actually going to I'm going to connect that to a special battery that you can bring in the house. But in an emergency, you can use this 300 watt sine wave inverter and a good set of jumper cables, which you can get about $20, and most people already have them. And your car becomes the power source. So you connect it to your car battery, you connect it to this inverter, and then the other side of the inverter, it's probably a box about, the size of my MREs. Okay, it's not very big, a little wider, but it sits up that way. And in the front, you have a couple plugs, 3-prong plugs, so you can plug in whatever appliances you need. And it has a USB. And now it's not going to power your refrigerator and your stove, but it will power your pretty much everything you need, like your radio, your lights, probably a laptop computer. You can recharge your phone, which is, to me, is very important in a situation like this. When you're in an emergency, you want that phone. You need to find out what's going on. What's the power outage from? Is it somebody knocked the transformer down the street? Is it an EMP? Somebody unplugged the city plug because they tripped over it at the town hall. What's it from, and how long is it going to be? Because that's going to, have you react differently. Because if it's going to be for a week, that's still different than what you're going to need if it's only going to be for the day. I mean, Raluca and I are very lucky. We had, like I said, 4 or 5 power outages here last winter, but there's a community center across the street where a lot of seniors go. So this is one of the first places in the city that they try to repair, just like they do, they go after hospitals and police department, fire departments, emergency places first. They get them back up, but that's like we're probably number 2 on the list, so that makes it great. But yeah, so a 300 watt pure sine watt inverter, and it's about 30-40 bucks. Cables, if you need the cables, for about maybe $20. And like I said, I'm going to be making a video later where you get a different kind of a battery. I can't remember the name of the battery. I have it written down somewhere. Matter of fact, I might even put the name of that battery in the description. So if you decide you want to go on and do it before me and say, hey, Randy, I did it. Works great. You can. But from what I found out, I think that was the most expensive thing. If you wanted to get that battery, I can't remember if it was like between 60 and 160, a little variation, but there was so many different types that they had. Something like that, I'd probably get it local because, we have Amazon Prime where we get free shipping, but with heavy items, sometimes they skip it. Well, that's not included, So, yeah, but that's a pretty cool item to use. I mean, to have that handy where you can just connect it to your car. And while we're at it, if you don't have something like that and you lose power and your cell phone happens to be dead or almost dead and you want to charge it, where you got a great charger already that's working right now? Your car. I hadn't thought of that in the past. How many times where I wasn't ready, it's getting cold in the house in the wintertime, and I need to be able to see things, contact people. I could have just gone in the car, run the car for a little bit, have the heater on, listen to some music, you got light, you got the charge in for the phone, all the conveniences of home except for toilet and refrigerator, but right there in your car. A lot of us don't think of that. So that brings me to another thing. Be ready, okay? A lot of people like to run their car, the gas right down to empty. I mean, with us, we have a little white dot that comes on in the dash, and that means you're out of gas. It's like an emergency thing. So for me, that means I'm out of gas. What Lucas says, the book says that it'll run 40 miles more. So don't worry about it. So the white light comes on and kind of like a reserve tank, right? And the other day we were like 10 miles from the house. Oh, let's go home. We'll get gas tomorrow. Makes me very nervous. But they said, what if we run out in the middle of nowhere? Then she comes up with the other thing. Well, we have AAA and they can come tow us. Okay, so the things we have, we're so lucky here in America to have all these great people that will come take care of us if we're in trouble. Yeah, but the car is a good emergency, I guess you could say, electrical bank, but if you do have the power outage, be sparing, use your car as little as possible. And also I found the hard way, if you do turn on the key because you want to use things, watch videos or whatever, turn the car on. Don't just turn the key and leave it there. Raluca and I were in New Hampshire at a mall. She was looking for perfumes for her channel, Beauty by Ralu. That's a unsolicited plug, right? Anyways, while she was in all the different stores, sometimes I'll sit in the car. I like to write books. I've written many books in my life. So I'll sit in the car and research or write books or do something like that. And I turned the car off to go see her, let her know where I was. I came back and the car was dead. I said, I only was in there for about a half an hour. So we had to call AAA, and the guy says, oh no, he says, if you don't have the key on, you're using the battery. In my case, I had the car off and I thought nothing was going on, but I still had the key in the ignition. No. That's draining the battery. And I drained it completely. Luckily, they were able to charge it and I was able to get home because I was a good 30 miles, 35 miles from here. Would have been a good walk. So, yeah, that was great. And let's see. Renee, you just hit that right. No. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. And too much on my limited income. What is to have your car halfway full? Or to have to buy a battery? And I'm sorry, that's a conversation Raluca's having with Renee. See, we're peaking on your conversation. Have you tried Starlink? Oh, that's what she's saying is too expensive. Starlink. I really want to look into that myself. Anybody have it? Starlink? And what do you think of it? That's something I'd like to get because we're actually looking for a house. And give you a sneak peek, we want to move way up northern Maine in the boonies, someplace where we can be pretty much self sufficient, whether you want to call it off grid or whatever. And we're going to need something like that. Uh, so you can see a lot when we do move. A lot of new videos about outdoor sufficiency are going to be coming up. All right. So that's my backup power idea. And like I said, that charger can be used to charge phones, run laptops, LED lights, operate fans, recharge batteries if you have one of those those rechargeable batteries for different items in the house. And even it might even be able to run one of those CPAP machines for people that need them for breathing. But it's not going to do the refrigerator. But for $100 or whatever everything's going to cost you, it's hard to beat. And somebody new coming on here. Hi, Lady Beth. It's a MB. I can't remember what that was. I was like Manitoba. No, that's those are different letters. But hello, welcome. Yeah, I don't think Starlink will help you if your cell phone gets zapped. Are you coming to take the water away from me?
No, you have some comments over there that you missed.
Oh, did I miss one over here?
Yeah.
This is Raluca, by the way. Did you see her hand? There it is.
Hi.
So
Guys.
everyone wants to know what she looks like. There we go. She's got a size medium hand, small hand actually. It's good because when I buy a jewelry, I don't have to pay much because she only wears half size.
I'd be like the guy with Tim the Tool Man.
Yeah, Tim the Tool Man's neighbor. We only see the face. Oh, hi, neighbor. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, here we are talking about the question. We never went to the question. Vaughn's on a roll. Okay. During 2020, I found 1,500 watt inverter for $15 to $20. So I bought 3 of them. I use them to run my heating pad when we go camping. Oh, there's a cheater. I like your style. A heating pad. I use those when I don't go camping. The old back ain't what it used to be. Well, that's a great idea. Thanks, Vaughn. Yeah, I'm gonna. Whoops, and I'm not able to get you off. There we go. Yeah, that's something I'm definitely looking forward to making the video and using those for myself. And do you know that potatoes can be a source of power? Yes, actually, on my site, Why Am I Green? A lot of people ask me, why are you green? When I first started the site many years ago, it was all on gardening. I was teaching aquaponics and hydroponics and every kind of ponics that you need, basically for urban type things. I actually had fish and tanks feeding my garden and everything right in my front room. But yeah, I heard about that. The starch in the potatoes, you can basically stick the wires in there and you get enough power to probably light a light bulb. But to use it for anything effectively, because I did a lot of research with it, you need to have a lot of wires and probably like a bushel of potatoes. So I think I'd rather just use a power bank and eat the potatoes. I love French fries, but yeah, great idea. There's a lot of things you can do that with. Most van lifers use Starlink. Yeah, and that's one of the reasons we're looking at it. Like I said, we want to move. I don't know if I should say off grid because I'm going to scare Raluca. She wants to be near malls, but we're going to move up north. But also in the spring, I'm going to start building my new childhood project. I'm going to be building a houseboat. We want to do a lot of traveling in a houseboat. And so we're going to need it for that when we're on the road, doing videos. And if I've been thinking of doing the Great Loop, if you've ever heard of that, a huge trail going around the country, down the Mississippi, around and coming all the way back up to Maine. That takes months, probably a year and a half. So we're going to need Starlink for sure. But see, now you folks know a lot about me that most people don't. Don't tell my family. My kids are going to say, "Where's Dad going? Is he nuts?" Mm-hmm. Let's see. So, lady, well, as in a case of emergency, I must have missed the connotation before that. And Lady Beth is talking about emergency, and Raluca below her is talking about near Sephora. Oh, okay. She wants to live near Sephora. Yeah. So we want to live off grid as long as our nearest neighbor within 30 miles through the woods are Sephora, Ulta, and whatever else, TJ Maxx. So we're gonna have those in some boony town. Probably have to open our own. All right. So, anybody else have any interesting stories or anything going on that happened to you during any of these power outages or things you would like to learn about? Or, especially, okay, this is one of my biggest things I wanted to ask you folks tonight. What would you like to see us do videos on? That's probably one of the hardest things in doing the kind of things where Luca and I do is finding topics that everyone's interested in. Like I said, with this big one where we had the viral video, it just happened that that was a major concern in the world. Everyone is having all these uh, heat waves, you know. So we just hit that one, I guess, by accident. In the wintertime, we do an awful lot with DIY stoves. So, but in the seasons in between, in the spring and going into the fall, it's like the fall I can't really do gardening. I guess canning, but that's not a real big thing. But we would love to hear your ideas either now or leave them in the comments below the video afterwards of what you'd like to see. That really helps us to be able to uh, point in or narrow down what kind of things we want to do on. Hey, I thought about this, and 5 people here said it, and 6 people here said it. So we work a lot with AI, and a lot of times we'll ask the YouTube AI to go through all my comments, and he'll come back and tell me, you've had 30 people want you to work on this, 20 people on this, and that's help. But like I said, we're always looking for new type things. Well, Lucas says, I think more EMP prep videos, maybe. That's something you folks would be interested in? EMP prep videos? I mean, it's not like we've had a lot of those, but if we do, it's going to be something that, like I said earlier, it's better to be prepared for. It's kind of scary, but maybe we'll make a video, a fun way of dealing with an EMP. I don't know if there's any fun way of doing that. So what else have we spoken of? Other things you want to have ready. Okay, so power goes out right now. What do you worry about? You got to make sure you have water. You got to make sure you have food. Any of you guys ever tried any of these things? If there's any fellow military people out there, okay, I spent a lot of time in the military. I started eating these when I was a military police, and then I was a drill sergeant. So I spent a lot of time in the field eating these things. Actually, before these, they had those, if anybody remembers, those little tin can meals. Everything was in the tin can, and they gave you this little P38 to open the can opener that you go like this, and you open the can. But these are kind of neat. A lot of people don't like military food. I loved it. The stuff in here, but I can't have it now because it's really sugary and salty. And again, they do that to give you energy, as you need energy if you're out in the field. But I guess they make some low carb MREs. I haven't found them yet, but I'm going to start looking for them. We bought a few cases of these from Ocean State Job Lot. In the spring, they had pallets of them. All the stores had so many of them. It was like, I think it was like 20 of them for like $30. We got them like $1.50, $2 each. They were great. So that's one thing. They have them all kinds of stuff. This one here is meatballs and marinara sauce. And they come with desserts. They come with forks. There's a little stove in here that you can use to heat stuff up. They have tacos. They have pizza ones. They have steak. They have breakfast. Then other things you can get. These are dehydrated type meals. A lot of campers will use these. Problem with these, if you're a backpacker or something, they're heavy. Okay, it is heavy. But these are very light. You just add water. Okay. This one's Hatch Green Chili Mac and Cheese. A creamy blend of pasta, cheddar, and Parmesan with Hatch Green Chili. Doesn't that sound good? I should be a news host, right? And see what that looks like? We have actually quite a few of these. These are Mountain. I thought it was Mountain something. I can't see the name of it's underneath here, but This is a whole meal, and look at that, $6.39. So there's a lot of different kind of things you can get. I mean, so have food ahead. Now, don't go out and just buy a whole mess of this stuff if you're not going to eat it. Buy things that you would normally eat. This way, it's good to eat some of your storage as you go and replenish it. Okay, so that way you're cycling it. You're not getting really old thing that's been sitting there for a year. I mean, do you get any kind of canned meats? Do you like spam? If you're my age, you're probably brought up on it. Spam lasts forever, but you can put that there. Ramen noodles, that's the big thing today. You can store all kinds of ramen noodles. You can go to the dollar store and pretty much completely stock your food reserves, because they have a lot of things like that. So, but most of these are things that don't go in the freezer or fridge. So, what do we have here? Keep your fridge and freezer foods and beverages to keep cold. Use ice packs. That's right. That's a good one. I see that you were talking earlier, ice packs to keep your fridge. Yeah, it's just really important to have ice packs. Make homemade powders where you just add water or milk. I think I'm missing things here and there. Yeah, where it comes to, I know we're talking about food here, but where it comes to your freezer too, I found out recently that it's important to keep your freezer full. If not full of food, full of maybe bottles of water, ice packs, different kinds of things that you can use if it gets too hot, or to cool off your food if you need it later. But your freezer is going to work a lot less if the freezer is full than if it continually has to keep it cold because there's nothing in there. So you're better off. Like right now, I have a couple of 1 gallon jugs of water. I've got some ice packs. I've got some 2 liter bottles in there. I got some of those little pads that you put on your neck, or, if you have boo-boos, you tell them a Frenchman, how do you say that in English? Boo-boos. So that all helps to keep it cool. And if I have to make some kind of a fan thing, I can always use them. Where can you get MREs? Well, one thing you can do, join the military. Dun, dun, dun. But you don't have to. Okay. Actually, you can get them online. I haven't seen them in the stores. I know I already put them away there, but these guys here, they got them at Dick's Sporting Goods. They have them at Walmart. They have this kind of stuff all over the place. But the MREs, if you go online on Amazon, punch in MRE, you're going to find them all over the place. There's a lot of, if any of you watch different prepper sites showing you how to get ready for catastrophes, a lot of them will sell them right on their site. I haven't done that because I haven't found one good location that has decent prices. I just keep my eyes open. Like I said, I got these at Ocean State Job Lot because they just happen to have a whole mess of them there, and I love the price. Matter of fact, we did a video. Go back and look at the video where I got the MREs. You'll see it's a video of my family and I, Raluca and my mother and my brother and his wife, and we had I invited them to dinner, and I brought a whole mess of MREs. Oh, my nephew had a whole mess of MREs, and I passed them out. Okay, let's eat. Aren't you going to cook these? No, you're going to cook them yourself right at the table. It was fun. It was like a three-ring circus. You got to watch that. Everybody opened up their different things and started eating them. My mother's looking at it. She's 93. Okay. She's like, what the hell is this? You got to watch that video. It was awesome. And it was actually pretty fun. What we did was everybody opened it. I showed them how to cook with the thing, and everybody cooked they have like this little envelope that you put like a quarter cup of water or something like that, and it heats up. The water instantly heats up this element in the envelope, and you can put the bag of food in there, and it cooks the food in like 10 minutes. So everybody did that, and then we opened up all the food, put it around the table, and everybody took a spoon here and there, and we had I guess you could say a buffet, smorgasbord, and it was pretty fun. And as a result of it, my nephew, hey, can I have a couple of those to take home? We ended up emptying a whole case right there for people going home. And my mother, of all people, said, can you buy me a case of that? And she says it was a lot simpler to make. And at her age, cooking was a difficult thing, and she liked it. So I bought her a case, but that was probably a few months ago, and I think she's out again. I can't get her anymore because over there. So we'll have to go online to see if we can find some more. Yeah. So, yeah, so food is important, and you need to have, if you're gonna be cooking food, you need to have a way of cooking food, and, like, we have a bunch of, if you look at my videos, a bunch of cook stoves that we made out of tin cans, so this that cooking is a very easy one, or heating up water, this kinda thing here. What do we have here? Let me see. Oh, the comments are going faster than me. Peanut butter and tuna fish. Yes, I didn't even think of that. I've got cans of tuna butter. Peanut butter. I have cans of peanut butter stacked up there, and tuna fish is great. Not only is it nutritious, you don't have to cook it, but when you empty it, you can make a little stove or a little heating devices out of those cans, with denatured alcohol, with actually even something as simple as those oh, what do they call those squirt cans of Reluca, what do you call that stuff that you squirt and we light up? No, not disinfectants. Hand sanitizer. Ta-da! See, I'm yelling to her to get answers, but even when I yell to her, she's watching the camera, and there's like a 5-second delay, so she hears me, but hears me talking on it, so it gets kind of confusing. Hand sanitizer, which is like, I think, 60 or 70% alcohol. Did you know that you can take a can, like a tuna can, and take the tuna out, squirt like 3 squirts of hand sanitizer? Do this outside or well ventilated if you're going to do it in the house with smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors, and then light it up. You're going to get flames up to here. I've cooked entire meals using hand sanitizer in a muffin tin, several squirts in each tin, and I mean, we had some good flames. Matter of fact, the smoke alarm went off in the other side of the house. We had to run over there while we were cooking in the kitchen. But great thing for outside. Try it outdoors, and make sure you have the muffin tin on something not on something fireproof. On a stone or on metal or something that's not going to burn the forest down. But yeah, there's so many different ways of heating things up. Let's see, what do we get here? There are soup mixes you can make. Add water or milk. Yeah, soup mixes are great. Um, One of the things I mentioned was ramen noodles. Okay, I like ramen noodles. They don't like me, but I like ramen noodles. And there's so many cup of soup type thing. Matter of fact, one of the places we go to Dunkin' Donuts, there's a gentleman that comes over quite pretty much every single morning, and I guess he just lives in the woods. Okay, he just likes that, especially in the summertime. And he comes in, and every morning he gets his big cup of coffee, and he gets a big thing of cup of soup. And he asked him at Dunkin' Donuts for hot water, and he puts the hot water in, eats his cup of soup, and drinks his coffee. He says he loves the stuff. So, because I offered to buy him some donuts some morning, because no, I like this. I'm fine, thanks, but I'll take a coffee. Yeah, so yeah, soup's a great one. And there is also ideas, some hamburger helper mixes. Um, yeah, I'm not really sure. I'm hesitant because I'm not sure what goes in hamburger helper. I guess that's something that could be made with no power. Or if you have a cooking device, a stove or whatever, even a Coleman stove or something like that. What goes in there? I think milk, meat. Yeah, I guess you can cook everything that way. I saw something online. I don't know if this is something you guys would be interested in, but I saw something a few days ago. I was thinking of doing maybe in September or October, called the parabolic stove. I don't know if you've ever seen these. It's like a big round, almost like one of those metal sleds that kids use. It's round. It's like a little bowl like that, but it's a mirror device that they make. You cut it, you make a base, and you put the mirror in it, and you set it up, and it aims. The sun comes down, beats on it, and it pinpoints it. It pinpoints the heat from the sun to the bottom of the frying pan. So just from the sun, and I guess it gets pretty hot. These guys were cooking steak and hamburger and all kinds of stuff. But you have to use like a cast iron pan, and he was making grilled cheese sandwiches that looked really good. Okay, and he made a good size one, but no power. He used it outdoors, of course. And he says even in a slightly cloudy day, it'll still work. So I thought that would be a cool video to make sometime. It's something that I'd like to. I don't think I'd use it all the time like I do my barbecue grill or my what's the other one there, the griddle, but it'd be fun to use once in a while. And look at that unsolicited testimonial. Cool. Okay, so that's a yes. Okay. So did we talk about pretty much everything here? We talked about cooking. We talked about lighting. Yeah, we talked about these things, remember? And flashlights and lanterns and kerosene lanterns. And there's, yeah, that's what we have on the other side. Kerosene, one of those old-fashioned kerosene lanterns. There's propane. There's so many different ways of getting light. I like just those, what is it? They have a battery in there, and they're like, like a round, almost like a solar light. They stick to the ceiling. All you got to do is push them, and they go on. And those are kind of neat. I see a lot of boats with those. They last quite a while. So the lighting, first aid. Like I said, I just got a first aid kit from Walla World. Actually, I don't know if I get this from Walmart or from Amazon. It has 80 pieces first aid kit. It has Band-Aids, Tylenol, Neosporin, gauze. I have extra gauze because when I hurt myself, I hurt myself. As for Luke, I'm down there in my shop all the time. One of my hobbies is I build boats, okay? And she'll hear me screaming from downstairs. She'll run down. What happened? The boat fell on my toe. Stuff like that happens constantly. Or when I'm building these projects that you see in the wintertime when I make my stoves, I've had 2 explosions so far that were pretty substantial. So these are great to have. And let's see what else. So besides that, see, I think I've even put extra things. I told you about the aqua tabs, and yeah, so it's kind of simple, but good to have them. And if there's any kind of pills that you use a lot, whether it be Tylenol, ibuprofen, you can throw some of those in there. But good thing to have around. And the nice thing is, we're talking about a go bag. I have my go bag over here. I have a spare room. It's right on the other side of the door of the spare room, because any of these things that I need in a hurry or that I would need when I run out, if I have to run out, I write in the go bag. So where's the first aid kit? In the go bag. Where's this? In the go bag. So I know I don't have to search all over the house. It's in the go bag. So it's good to have that right there. Oops. Okay. Let's see if I've missed anything here. Cotton balls dipped in Vaseline work real good for, didn't finish the sentence, but I would probably say fire starters was going to be what you're going to say, right? I know, put a little Vaseline on cotton balls and you hit that with, one of those sparkers, that thing will go up pretty good. And if it's compact in a can, you could probably even cook a meal off that. And Bobby, hi, Bobby. Bobby says, my AC went out and I've been using your fan and ice pack idea. Woohoo! How's that working for you, Bobby? And how long have you had to use it? I did another one, a video. Actually, we've done a couple videos since that big one. One was called Any Fan, Any Ice. And it'll work with pretty much anything, Bobby. I mean, there's the one that I showed. But, I mean, if you take any kind of fan and put an ice block, and I found this big block of ice at Walmart the other day. I didn't know they sold those. A bag of ice, a bowl of ice, ice cubes, ice packs, anything just in front of the fan, anything like that will cool you off. And the idea, what I've been telling people probably 100 times on that video especially, is the idea of doing that is not to cool off the room. Is to cool off the person, because a lot of people they'll get on there and say, according to the laws of thermodynamics, you're heating up the room where you're freezing. And you get all these Einstein people telling me that I can't freeze ice without heating up the room. That's not they're missing the point. They're missing at a point that you're hot, you're suffering. You need to cool off. So just get behind that ice and have the wind blow on you. That's all that you need. I don't care if the room stays hot; it's cooling you off. And if you have a second fan, put it in hopefully the upper part of the window, venting the hot air out. So between the cool air coming in, hitting you from the ice cubes and venting that out, that will start to change the temperature of the room as well. But if you put a fan in the window, you can't just put it there and have openings. You're going to have to tape the rest of the window off if you don't have a fan that expands to the whole window. So put your fan in the corner and cardboard and duct tape. Duct tape is a staple in this family. But let's see what we got. Oh, a lot of questions are coming in now. If you use butane stove, Asian markets usually have good prices on butane canisters for your information. Great. Great tip. Thank you. And, oh, yeah, about the Vaseline. Yes, fire starters. Yeah, that's what I thought it was because I've used them before. That's a good idea. My grandpa was RCAF. That's Royal something Air Force. Royal Caribbean. But well, if I'm getting 3 out of the 4 letters right, thank you for his service. I appreciate that. Well, folks, guess what? I've been more long-winded than I was planning on being, and I'm really tickled with the showing for all of you that came. I appreciate having you folks here, because if it wasn't for you folks, we wouldn't have this channel. We wouldn't be able to help as many people as we do. So what I do ask is that if you know someone who needs any kind of help with anything that we teach, please share the videos with them. I'm sure they'll thank you for it. And, oh, one thing I wanted to mention, remember the video I just made, 1 bucket, 2 purposes? It was a cooler, and then I made a toilet out of it. I got a third choice for a third use. Want to see it? Here's the one I made with the toilet. It is now a trash can. Woo-hoo! My office trash can. Isn't that a great idea? So 3 choices. I like to multitask my ideas so you can use things for all different areas. I probably can use that for to cool off your feet, put your feet in the water in there. But Royal Canadian Air Force, thank you. Okay, I wasn't Canadian. Yeah, okay. So thank you for his service. I appreciate that. So I appreciate your videos. Thank you. And I appreciate you folks watching my videos. So with that, I guess it's time to wrap it up. If you have more comments, go ahead and leave them on here, and we will be checking them. We try to return as many or respond to as many comments as we can. And like I said, you have more ideas of what you'd like to see us do videos on, please let us know in the comments below the video. So when I come back tomorrow and I'm going to be making another video, okay, I'll have some ideas. I appreciate having you all with me. And let's see. There we go. And with that, I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye now.